Norway is building the most extreme road tunnel ever. It's a true engineering feat designed to overcome geographic constraints and bring people closer together. An unprecedented construction project packed with record-breaking achievements. In southern Norway, beneath the breathtaking fjords that have made the region and the country famous, a titanic construction site has been underway since 2018. Called Rogfast, this project hides a monumental achievement. At 27 kilometers long, it's set to become the longest underwater road tunnel in the world when it opens in 2033. More importantly, it will also be the deepest road tunnel ever built, with certain sections plunging nearly 400 meters below sea level. A multi-billion euro megastructure that already raises many questions, particularly about its feasibility, as water infiltration has already been detected on site. Fasten your seatbelts and hop into our amphibious car, because today, Looking For is taking you underwater, deep inside Norway's Rogfast tunnel. Welcome everyone to this new episode. To truly understand the scale of what Norway is undertaking right now, we first need to set the geographic context. Known for the beauty of its landscapes, Norway is a rugged country that delights tourists who come to admire its natural wonders. And the country's appeal keeps growing year after year. But for residents, often faced with real journeys just to travel between cities, reality can be quite different. A reality that is even more pronounced along the coast, far from Oslo, the capital located in the east. Today, driving between Bergen, the country's second largest city, and Stavanger, Norway's fourth largest, takes nearly 5 hours. That's roughly the same travel time as driving between Paris and Lyon in France. The difference? The French route covers more than 450 kilometers, while the Norwegian journey is only 208 kilometers long. This gap is explained by geography. Between Bergen and Stavanger, drivers currently have no choice but to take ferries, which significantly slows down the trip. To improve connectivity between cities, modernize national infrastructure, boost local commerce, and encourage tourism, the Norwegian government launched a massive project, the modernization of the E39 coastal highway. Stretching 1,360 kilometers, it's considered one of the most scenic roads in the world. It runs from Trondheim in the north to Kristiansand in the south and eventually reaches Aalborg in Denmark. Today, it takes 21 hours to travel the Norwegian portion alone, which includes 7 ferry crossings. The goal is to eliminate these crossings by building tunnels and bridges, effectively cutting travel time in half. A simple idea on paper, but far more complex in reality. Proof of that, the project isn't expected to be completed before 2050, with a total budget exceeding $40 billion. Among all these major innovations stands one flagship project, undoubtedly the most ambitious and technically demanding of them all, the Rogaland Fixed Link, also known as Rogfast, literally meaning the fixed link of Rogland. This tunnel will connect Randaberg, just north of Stavanger, to Bokken, a strategic point along the Stavanger-Bergen route that currently requires a ferry crossing over the Boknafjord and Kvitsøyafjord. Built under the authority of the Norwegian Public Roads Administration, the tunnel will pass beneath the island of Kvitsøy, home to the town of the same name. A dedicated exit will allow access to Kvitsøy, which happens to be Norway's smallest municipality. The tunnel is expected to significantly improve connectivity along Norway's west coast by creating a faster and more reliable link between the Stavanger and Haugesund regions, promises Ann-Britt Moen, one of the project managers at Skanska, the company responsible for building the northern and deepest section of the tunnel. According to her, Rogfast could save drivers around 40 minutes between the two cities. Most importantly, it will put an end to ferry lines, waiting queues, limited schedules. Ferries don't run at night, and dependence on weather conditions. Just a few months ago, those kind of constraints probably would have made me want to light a cigarette. But surprisingly, I stopped this year. And unlike my dozens of previous attempts, this time I'm not struggling anymore. The real change didn't come from becoming a different person. It came from the small habits I built, day after day. Taking a moment to observe my reactions to cravings, understanding what actually triggers the urge, and anticipating high-risk situations instead of just reacting to them. And speaking of that, this video includes a paid partnership with BetterHelp. Therapy works in a similar way. It's not an instant solution, but a consistent process that helps you better understand yourself and grow over time with the support of a credentialed therapist. If you're thinking about starting to work on yourself, BetterHelp can be a simple starting point. BetterHelp is an online platform that connects you with a therapist suited to your needs. You fill out a questionnaire, and you can begin communicating in as little as just a few days. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at no additional cost, anytime. If you'd like to try it, click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/looking4. You'll get 10% off your first month of therapy. Taking care of your mental health might be the most important habit you start this year. Now let's leave the path of life behind and set off on our new journey in Norway. While the new drive may offer fewer scenic views, it will be open 24/7 year-round. Freight transport logistics will also become far more efficient. But this time savings comes at a price. Rogfast will measure 26.7 kilometers in total. While it doesn't rival rail tunnel records, it will become the longest road tunnel in the world, surpassing another Norwegian tunnel, the Lærdal Tunnel, which stretches 24.5 kilometers and opened in 2000 after 5 years of construction and decades of political debate. The Lærdal Tunnel cuts through a mountainous region beneath 2 fjords and is a masterpiece of engineering, featuring 18 turning bays that allow drivers to turn around if necessary. It's even become a tourist attraction in its own right, thanks to its lighting system. An artificial northern lights installation illuminates its 3 main turning caverns, adding a touch of magic to the journey. And Norway isn't alone. Across Europe, massive infrastructure projects are multiplying to improve mobility, even if that means literally moving mountains. I've linked a video in the description about 2 ongoing megaprojects that could permanently reshape Europe if you're interested. But let's get back to Rogfast. The tunnel will consist of 2 separate tubes, each with 2 traffic lanes, fully dedicated to road vehicles. Safety walkways will be installed every 500 meters, along with emergency cross passages allowing evacuation from one tube to the other in case of an incident. This extraordinary structure will include 17 technical buildings, 154 emergency stations, 38 cross galleries, and rescue access routes between the tubes. Each tube will measure just over 10 meters in diameter. Rogfast will also rely on a longitudinal ventilation system powered by jet fans, specifically designed for tunnel ventilation and smoke extraction in the event of a fire. Air inlets and outlets will be distributed along the entire route, including at the tunnel's midpoint. There, 2 vertical ventilation shafts are being excavated, approximately 230 meters deep, with diameters of 8.6 and 9.4 meters. These shafts, along with several ventilation tunnels, will extract polluted air from one shaft while supplying fresh air through the other. This is also where one of the project's most impressive engineering feats will be located: a double underground roundabout connecting to another tunnel leading to Kvitsøy. In this section, the maximum gradient will reach 7%, while elsewhere in the tunnel it will be limited to around 5%. In practical terms, that means descending 7 meters every 100 meters at the steepest point. At this precise location, the tunnel will lie 266 meters below sea level. And it goes even deeper, down to 392 meters, making it the deepest road tunnel in the world. For comparison, the Channel Tunnel between the UK and France is 50 kilometers long, with a 38-kilometer underwater section, but it only descends to about 75 meters below sea level. As of today, no road tunnel anywhere in the world goes deeper than 300 meters. So why go so deep? Just to break records? Not really. Unlike other large European projects, Rogfast is being blasted and drilled directly into solid rock, rather than assembled from prefabricated tunnel elements placed on the seabed. In other words, it's excavated beneath the fjord, not laid on it. A strict rule applies, maintaining at least 50 meters of rock between the tunnel and the water above. This method, widely used in Norway, ensures long-term stability under extreme water pressure. But this approach comes with major challenges. An estimated 8.5 million cubic meters of rock will need to be excavated. While construction will inevitably impact the environment, Norway, one of the world's largest oil exporters, aims to follow an ecological strategy. Most of the extracted rock will be reused for local projects, including the creation of industrial zones near tunnel entrances and exits. The largest disposal site will become a new industrial area on Kvitsøy. Another challenge? Precision. To save time on an already lengthy schedule, Rogfast is being excavated simultaneously from both ends. The goal is for the two teams to meet with an error margin of less than 5 centimeters. Any greater deviation would lead to major technical, financial, and scheduling complications. This is surgical engineering, requiring cutting-edge technology. On site, rotating mirror laser scanners measure newly excavated sections, collecting up to 2 million data points per second to create a digital twin of the tunnel. This model is then compared to design plans to detect even the smallest inaccuracies. It's a far cry from the romantic image of surveyor peering through an instrument, explains Burkhard Bokum, CTO at Hexagon, a Swedish industrial technology group. But it saves time, money, and avoids costly material errors. Engineers also rely on advanced grouting and waterproofing techniques to keep the tunnel dry and stable, constantly fighting the risk of seawater infiltration. Despite all precautions, significant saltwater leaks have already been detected at depths of 300 meters below sea level. One of the biggest challenges so far has been finding grouting methods effective enough to seal the rock. We are constantly working to identify the best methods to ensure safe and efficient working conditions for everyone, Ann-Britt Moen told CNN. This extraordinary project is already very real. Construction began in January 2018, but was halted in late 2019 due to cost overruns, leading to contract cancellations and a full project restructuring. The COVID crisis then paused work for several months. Construction resumed in late 2021. According to the current schedule, the first vehicles should be able to drive through Rogfast in the summer of 2033. Estimated cost, 25 billion Norwegian kroner, or more than 2.1 billion euros. The remaining question is, who will pay, and at what cost? Norway is an extremely wealthy country thanks to its oil and gas revenues. The government has announced it will cover 40% of the project, with the remaining 60% paid by drivers. As is common in Norway, tolls will be installed to repay construction costs. Around 6,000 vehicles per day are expected at opening. But how much will it cost to use the tunnel? For now, no one knows. And what if tolls are high enough to discourage drivers? Again, few answers. At full operation, traffic could reach 13,000 vehicles per day. But if it exceeds expectations, congestion could emerge, potentially reducing the project's initial benefits. Critics also point to other weaknesses, accusing authorities of overlooking safety, environmental and budgetary concerns. Environmentally, opponents argue that dumping massive volumes of excavated material elsewhere in the fjord could harm ecosystems and biodiversity. In terms of safety, scenarios involving accidents, fires or blocked tunnel entrances are seen as blind spots. That said, large infrastructure projects always face opposition, sometimes justified, sometimes not. No road is safer than a 2-lane tunnel with no oncoming traffic, responded Oddvar Kamo, project manager at Statens Vegvesen, Norway's road authority. As for the unthinkable, he adds, it can just as easily happen on a plane, a train, or a ferry. To address potential risks, a real-time alert system will detect breakdowns, traffic jams, and incidents. Cameras and radar systems will continuously monitor vehicles. Finally, critics also highlight potential regional economic impacts. If Rogfast succeeds, ferry services and the jobs linked to them could disappear altogether. And for good reason. Rogfast's ultimate goal within the E39 modernization plan is to eliminate all ferry crossings by 2050. Authorities, however, emphasize future jobs tied to tunnel operations and maintenance, as well as potential economic growth from new industrial zones planned at both ends of the tunnel. For now, construction continues. In November 2025, Norway's public broadcaster NRK reported that the E03 section between Megaproject and Kvitsøy had reached 52% completion. It's the largest and most complex of the project's 4 sections. A clear sign that work is progressing, even though many milestones remain before the plan's 2033 opening. And this is where our journey ends for today. If you'd like me to follow the progress of this project in the future, let me know in the comments. See you soon on Looking For.